House Targaryen, House Qoherys, House Valyrian, House Celtigar, House Baratheon, and House Blackfyre are all Valyrian houses in Westeros. Valyrians are a race originating in Essos, in the Valyrian Peninsula. For thousands of years their empire, known as the Valyrian Freehold, was the dominant civilization of the continent. Then a cataclysmic event known as the Doom shattered the Valyrians' capital city, and much of the Valyrian Peninsula, killing all Valyrians and all dragons that were there. But some Valyrians survived. About 126 years before Aegon's conquest of Westeros, Daenerys Targaryen, the daughter of dragonlord Rhaenyra Targaryen, had a vivid dream of the destruction of Valyria and the death of most of the dragons. She perceived this as a prophetic vision, and she told her father about this, and House Targaryen would flee Valyria with all their dragons and wealth, and settle on their Westerosi island, the Dragonstone. The members of House Targaryen are the sole surviving family of dragonlords, but not the last Valyrians. Some of their vassals, such as House Valerian and House Celtigar, who are also Valyrians, settled on neighboring islands. A few more noble Valyrian families were later founded in Westeros by their Valyrian servants, such as House Qoherys, as well as by the illegitimate Valyrian children who founded House Baratheon and House Blackfyre. Let's first take a look at the other two original houses that, beside House Targaryen, came from Valyria to Westeros: House Valerian and House Celtigar. House Valerian is an ancient and proud family, with the blood of Old Valyria in their veins. According to their family histories, the Valyrians have a storied Valyrian lineage, and came to Westeros before House Targaryen, settling on the island of Driftmark in the Gullet. House Valerian of Driftmark rules the island of Driftmark, the largest island of Blackwater Bay in the Crownlands. Their castles include Driftmark and High Tide. The head of House Valerian is titled Lord of the Tides and Master of Driftmark. Their arms depict a silver seahorse on sea green. Their words are the old, the true, the brave. House Valerian is of Valyrian descent, and its members often have Valyrian features, such as silver gold or silver hair and purple eyes. Their close proximity to the Gullet enabled the Valyrians to fill their coffers from trade in the narrow sea and Blackwater Bay. They allied with House Targaryen of Dragonstone and House Celtigar of Claw Isle, both houses of Valyrian descent, while the Valyrians and Celtigars dominated the middle reaches of the narrow sea with their ships. The Targaryens were dragon riders who ruled the skies with their dragons. The Valyrians have been the oldest and closest allies of the Targaryens for centuries. The close relations between House Valerian and Targaryen resulted in multiple marriages between the families. Aegon the Conqueror's mother was a Valyrian herself. House Valerian allied with the Targaryens at the start of Aegon's conquest, and it was the Valyrian fleet that transported Aegon the Conqueror's men across Blackwater Bay for Aegon's landing. The most famous man in House Valerian history is Corlys Velaryon, the Sea Snake, who is one of the main characters in House of the Dragon. The Sea Snake had risen to fame with his great voyages across the seas of the known world. Corlys became the first man from Westeros to sail to Yi Ti, returning rich with spices, silks, and other treasures. He accumulated so much wealth that House Valerian became the richest house in the realm, and himself the wealthiest man in the Seven Kingdoms, surpassing even the Lannisters or Hightowers. Corlys and his wife Rhaenys are major supporters of Rhaenyra Targaryen during the Dance of the Dragons. House Celtigar is also an ancient Valyrian bloodline. House Celtigar of Claw Isle rules Claw Isle, an island in the narrow sea off the coast of Cracklaw Point. The Celtigars are historically sworn to Dragonstone within the Crownlands. Their arms depict red crabs strewn on white. House Celtigar is an ancient and proud house, with the blood of Old Valyria in its veins, and their ancestral weapon is not a sword, but an axe made of Valyrian steel. Lord Crispian Celtigar served as Master of Coin to King Aegon I Targaryen, and Lord Edwell Celtigar served as Hand of the King during the reign of Maegor the Cruel. The Celtigars claim dominion over Cracklaw Point, but the inhabitants do not acknowledge their claim, and they surrendered peacefully to Queen Rhaenyra Targaryen during the Aegon's conquest. The people of Cracklaw were officially freed from pledging fealty to anyone but the Iron Throne. During the Targaryen Civil War, during the current events in House of the Dragon, Lord Bartimos Celtigar sits on the Black Council as Master of Coin to Queen Rhaenyra Targaryen. The Celtigar's castle is rumored to hold fabulous treasures that bear witness to their wealth. Among Lord Celtigar's property there are Myrish carpets, Volantine glass, gold and silver plate, jeweled cups, magnificent hawks, a trained sea eagle, an axe of Valyrian steel, chests of rubies, a horn said to summon krakens from under the sea, and many fine wines. Now let's take a look at Valyrian houses of Westeros that did not come from Valyria, meaning they did not exist in Old Valyria but were founded by Valyrians in Westeros. House Qoherys of Harrenhal was a noble Valyrian house. They were battle companions of Aegon the Conqueror, and like House Targaryen, they were of Valyrian descent. They blazoned their arms with a flaming saltire, red and yellow between 4 white skulls on black. Their seat was the castle of Harrenhal, which was granted to their founder, the Targaryen general Quentyn Coherus, by Aegon the Conqueror as a reward for his service in Aegon's conquest. Sir Quentyn was the master-at-arms at Dragonstone during Aegon's conquest. He was named Lord of Harrenhal by King Aegon I Targaryen, after Aegon had extinguished House Qoherys in the burning of Harrenhal during his conquest. Lord Quentyn had 2 strong sons, and a plump grandson to continue the family line, but as his first wife had died from spotted fever in 1 BC, he agreed to wed a daughter of his liege lord Edmund Tully of Riverrun. In 9 AC, Quentyn died from a fall from his horse and was succeeded by his grandson, Lord Gargan the Guest. His line did not last long, however. Gargan was fat and considered foolish. Gargan is known as Gargan the Guest, due to his habit of visiting every wedding in his domain and claiming the lord's right of first night that allowed him to bed the bride. During a rebellion by Harren the Red, self-proclaimed grandson of Harren the Black, the father of a maid whose virginity had been taken by Gargan allowed Harren to enter Harrenhal. Harren and his outlaws dragged Gargan from his bed to the castle Godswood. Harren then gelded and killed Gargan, and all of the castle's inhabitants were put to the sword, rendering House Qoherys extinct. Another house that did not exist in Valyria but was created by Valyrian in Westeros is House Baratheon. House Baratheon of Storm's End is one of the great houses of Westeros, and is the principal house in the Stormlands, which they rule as Lords Paramount of the Stormlands. House Baratheon was founded by a Valyrian, Lord Orys Baratheon, half-brother to Aegon the Conqueror. Lord Orys had similar looks to the Durrandons of Storm's End, despite being Valyrian. His hair was black and likewise his eyes. Orys was born at Dragonstone to Aegon the Conqueror's father, Aerion. Growing up at Dragonstone, he was Aegon Targaryen's best friend. From childhood to adulthood, Aegon considered Orys his only true friend. When Aegon Targaryen became the Lord of Dragonstone after Lord Aerion's death, Orys rose to be his most trusted advisor and right-hand man. He also took part in commanding the Dragonstone garrison, when Argilac Durrandon sought to use House Targaryen as a shield against the fierce House Qoherys. By attempting to marry his daughter Argilla to Lord Aegon, he declined and instead suggested that Argilla should be wed to Orys. Argilac grew furious and sent back the hands of Aegon's envoy in a box. This sparked Aegon's intentions to conquer Westeros. When Aegon and his sister wives Rhaenys and Visenya landed at the mouth of the Blackwater Rush and began the construction of the Aegon Fort, Orys Baratheon was named Hand of the King at Aegon's coronation as King of all Westeros and Shield of his people. Orys assumed command of the ground forces. Lord Hand Orys and Queen Rhaenys were ordered to seize Storm's End, while Aegon and Visenya flew for Harrenhal. King Argilac the Arrogant was terrified to hear about the burning of Harrenhal. He decided that Storm's End was not good enough to protect him from Aegon's dragons, and rode out of his castle to meet the Targaryen host. The battle that followed was known as the Last Storm, because of the large storm that occurred during the battle. Orys struck down Argilac. After her father's death, Argilla Durrandon rose as the new Storm Queen. She ordered the garrison of Storm's End to stand and fight, but they rose up and arrested her, fearing of being burned alive by the dragonfire of Meraxes. Argilla's own men delivered her to Orys' war camp, gagged, naked, and in chains. Orys cloaked her and treated her well, however, telling her of her father's courage in death. Aegon would name Orys the Lord of Storm's End and Lord Paramount of the Stormlands. Orys married Argilla and took the Black Stag as his sigil, and Ours is the Fury as his words, and House Baratheon was born. House Blackfyre is like House Baratheon, another Valyrian house that was created in Westeros by illegitimate son of a Targaryen. Although in case of House Blackfyre, that son actually got legitimated later on. House Blackfyre was created by Daemon Waters, the legitimized bastard son of King Aegon IV Targaryen, also known as Aegon the Unworthy, and his cousin Daena. House Blackfyre took its name from Aegon the Conqueror's Valyrian steel sword Blackfyre, which Aegon gave to Daemon upon knighting him. As is customary for bastards, Daemon reversed the colors of the Targaryen heraldry for his new house, their sigil being a black three-headed dragon, breathing black fire on red. Among the traits passed on to the Blackfyres by the Targaryens were platinum blonde hair, violet eyes, and the dragon dream ability. Allying with his fellow great bastard Aegor Bittersteel Rivers, Daemon eventually rebelled against his true-born half-brother King Daeron II Targaryen, claiming that Daeron was a bastard fathered by their uncle, Aemon the Dragon Knight. Almost inhumanly beautiful, Daemon looked every inch the warrior, and many thought that he strongly resembled portraits of Aegon the Conqueror. Daemon mastered all weapons of the battlefield, but with the sword Blackfyre in hand he was said to fight like the warrior himself. At the Battle of Redgrass Field, Daemon and two of his sons Aegon and Aemon were killed by another of Aegon's bastards, Brynden Rivers. Bittersteel fled across the narrow sea along with the surviving Blackfyres, and they would continue revolting against the Targaryens. Two more of Daemon's sons, Daemon II and Haegon, would launch their own rebellions, as did Haegon's son Daemon III. The male line of House Blackfyre was ended when Bartimos Celtigar slew Maelys Blackfyre in single combat during the War of the Nine Penny Kings. There you have it, guys, every Valyrian house of Westeros either originating from the Old Valyria itself or founded by people with Valyrian blood. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please give it a big thumbs up, and I hope to see you in the next one.